Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Studio Live today and to GarageBand Weekly for another week. Coming up on the show, we've got some plugins of the week, we've got some news and notes, we've got a bit of a rant, and we'll share a resource of the week as well. All that and a whole bunch more coming up here on the show. I hope you have had a good weekend. It is Monday morning here in sunny Adelaide, South Australia. Probably going to be Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening. So some of you may still have some weekend left. So good luck to you if indeed you do. I hope you are doing well and getting some creating done, some GarageBand creating. And if you do have questions about GarageBand or your own comments about GarageBand or anything GarageBand related, please throw those in the chat here if you are here live. If you're watching on the replay, no problem. We love you just as much. You can leave your comments down below. And if you get some value out of today's show, feel free to hit the like button. That tells me that I should continue to get up early in the morning and do this show. My headphone cord keeps getting in the way here. Hello to the folks who are already here live. We've got Desolate Morning here. We've got Jade Star is here. We have Benedict Stewart, 1000 watts. Hello to you. Scott is here. We've got Tom Rochelle. Did I say your name? Maybe, maybe not. Jeff Brush here. Cooking steaks on the barbecue at the same time. Wow, there you go. Keeping yourself busy there. Hello to Michael and Michael Arvin. Happy Monday to you. 5 p.m. on Sunday for you there. We've got Ed dialing in from Chicago and Russ here as well. We are going to dive in and start talking GarageBand in just a couple of minutes. I'll just give folks a chance to settle on in, and I'll get my notes and bits and pieces up ready to rock and roll as well. Why don't I get my? I usually just play my song here as a bit of theme music to kick into the show proper. So let's get that one up and ready for us as well. We'll throw the volume up on the fader there. I think we're good to go. I think I'm ready. Are you ready? Let's do this thing. Let's get this show on the road. I'll pause for a moment, and then we will be underway with GarageBand Weekly. Yes, welcome to GarageBand Weekly for yet another week here on Studio Live today. My name is Pete, and my goal here is to help you create, record, and release your best music. And we do that through tips, tricks, tutorials, and live videos just like this one. If that sounds like your kind of bag, consider subscribing. This one, though, is all about GarageBand. And coming up on the show, we'll be talking about some iOS news. iOS 13.6 is released. Who's excited? We'll be talking about online stores and some stock updates for you. I'll be ranting about releasing and distributing music. And our tip of the week, we'll be talking about exporting stems, those individual tracks, so you can share your GarageBand projects with other folks and the world. But let's jump in. Get started with the news and notes. So as I mentioned up front, iOS 13.6 has indeed been released. I've updated to it and nothing, no change, nothing particularly different. There's a few little changes in there. So there's the Apple health symptoms update is in there. There's which means you can add in different symptoms. I know everyone's into the health stuff these days. There's the digital car key. Has been added because the brand new BMW, I know I've got mine on order. I know everyone's got the brand new BMW ready to go. So if you are going to pick up a new Beamer, then you can use your Apple digital car key to open your car. And apparently the battery life has been improved. I mean, you never really know with those sort of things, as well as a bunch of bug fixes and security updates, and potentially new bugs and security holes, because that's just how things roll. So let me know if you've updated to 13.6. Have you noticed anything different, anything new that you'd like to talk about? Let us know. I wanted to talk about the GarageBand users Facebook group. Yes, this group here that I have my GarageBand users t-shirt that I'm rocking here today. The moderator team over there are some of the best folks that you're ever going to come across. And they've started up. I think Patrick was the first who did it. So Patrick Baird from the GarageBand Guide, of course. Then since then, James, and since then, Jude, three of our moderators, are doing a weekly hot picks, where they're just getting a few different tracks from a few different artists playlists and talking about those. So I think that's a really cool concept. Obviously, well, not obviously, but if you're on the GarageBand users Facebook group, you know that Ron Ward, he does a show every week, GarageBand Weekly, with Brian Bigler. I do this show here over on my channel, and but it's just nice to have some of those other little things that are going out there. So those quick fire videos, just sharing a few songs, I found those really cool. And if you want to find them cool too, you can head over to the GarageBand users group. I'm pretty sure anyone watching this show is already a member, but if not, head over to Facebook, search GarageBand users. You'll find what you're looking for. The other bit of news, it was a slow news week. We are still waiting for things like iOS 14, like the new Mac OS Big Sur to come out. But yeah, we didn't have a whole lot this week, so I just wanted to update that. The gear. So I did mention in the title of this one, I'll be talking about gear for GarageBand. But what I actually did is I talked about it yesterday in Home Studio Q&A. I did a whole big section on gear, and that's actually the same as for GarageBand. So as I was putting this together, I was like, I don't really need to do a rehash of that whole video. So what I'll do instead is down in the description, I'll link to that. And I'm also clipping out just that gear part, which I'm going to put into a separate video. So if you're looking for recommendations, if you're thinking, what does Pete use in the home studio to record in GarageBand? Well, all of the gear that I use, I will be linking the video to, and it's all over at my gear guide anyway. So if you go to studiolivetoday.com/gear, that's my complete gear guide. Do I have my little banner here? I've normally got my banner handy that I can go boom and pop it up there. Excuse me. So yes, if you're looking for gear, studiolivetoday.com/gear is the place to go. So let's jump into something a little bit different, shall we? My rant of the week is going to be about releasing and distributing music. Now, if you have been on the channel here for a while, you'll know that my mantra, my passion is helping people create, record, and release their best music. And the release part can mean a bunch of things, different things for different people. Release just really means share. So create, record, and share your music. Make sure that you're getting your music out there. It's the best way to learn. It's the best opportunity, not for you to just, share your music. That's fun too. Yes, seeing your song out there, seeing your song on Spotify or iTunes or Apple Music, that's very cool. But the more important part is sharing, because that's where you get feedback. That's where you learn what you've done well, what you've done not so well, what you can work on, what your areas of focus should be. So I say all of that to say that when you are releasing your music, there's a few ways to share. You can share on Facebook, you can share on SoundCloud, you can share on YouTube, and those are all what I call a temporary share. So you can release something to YouTube or to SoundCloud or to Facebook, and you can delete it again. Or if you make changes to it, you can upload a new version. You can change it as you go. And because of that change it as you go, very fluid, very temporary nature of sharing music, unfortunately, what's happened is a lot of folks approach releasing music, so distributing their music the same way. So in the last particularly the last 4 weeks, where a lot more people are releasing music, I'm getting a lot more questions along the lines of, how do I change my artist name? I've just released a song and now I don't want it to be released. I want to re-release it under a new name. How do I do that? I've released this album, but I want to remove this one song. How do I do that? I've released an album and I want to add a song. How do I do that? The way that I explain this is you need to think, like most things online, most things with the internet are kind of temporary, but distributing music is one thing that I think you really need to stop and think and get all your ducks in a row before you hit that submit button. You need to be confident of a few things. Is this the right song that I want to release right now? Is the artist name that I'm using the artist name that I want to use? And am I comfortable that this is going to be the permanent record? Now, yes, you can delete things, you can remove them in the future. But here's the thing, the distributors, someone like DistroKid or Amuse, these distributors, when you upload your music, they then send that music on to literally hundreds of different places. So it can be really difficult down the track to actually pull it all back and make sure that it has all come back again. So again, I say all of that to say, yes, create, record, and release music, share your music, use those temporary share places as much as you like. But when it comes to actually releasing, distributing your music, make sure that you have a think about it, get it all down, because it's so much easier to get it right at the source, just like your recordings, get it right at the source than it is to actually get it right down the track if you want to change something, if you want to edit it, if you want to update it. So keep that in mind. Hopefully that helps you out if you're looking to distribute and release your music. Excuse me. Hello to everyone who is here live. I think I've said g'day to a few folks, but let's circle back and say g'day. I've said hello to Jade and to Tom and to Scott. Desolate Morning, 1000 Watts is here. Mr. Raz, hello to you. Hope you are doing well. I had someone who said iOS 13. Yeah, Russ says iOS 13.6 is supposed to help the battery. Yeah, so the proof will be in the pudding as to whether our batteries get a bump. We'll find out soon. Jade bought 3 BMWs, so you'll be able to start all of those with your new Apple card. Yes. Join the Facebook group. There you go. That's the place. That's the place to go if you want all of your GarageBand news and views as well. Hello, the person you least expected. Well, the person I least expected would probably be my grade 4 teacher. If Ms. Meek is out there, if she showed up, she would be the person I least expected. Hello to Paul Taylor. Thank you for being here. You've helped me loads. Thank you. That's good to hear. Since I've learned to record, mix, master, and release through DistroKid, I'm now on iTunes, Spotify, etc. Excellent. That's what we like to hear. And hopefully you've released and you don't want to now change your name or change an album or do something else. Hello, David. My first live show from the UK. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. And hi to Asa. Good to have you here on board. Alrighty, I'll continue on here. If you do have any questions or if you do have anything that you want to ask, just put question in front of it if you're here live and I'll endeavor to answer it. But I know I've done 2 different Q&A shows this week, so I'd say we're probably going to be light on for questions here. Let's jump into some tip of the week, and that is exporting stems. Now, I did a video on exporting stems during the week, so let's just I'll do what I do to find my own videos. I actually just do exactly what I suggest that you do. I search my own name and then what I want to do. So I've just searched Pete Johns exporting stems, and if we bring up my search results here, you'll quickly see that I have not 1 but 2 videos on the topic. So the reason I did a new video is that I did this one here a while ago. So this one I did probably 2 years ago. It's very long. It is, 34 minutes? It didn't need to be 34 minutes. So I redid a streamlined version that is just 14 minutes, which is this one here, how to export individual tracks in GarageBand. There I am. There's the video. So I won't rehash everything I talk about there, but you can see that, yeah, that is going to take you through how to export. There's 2 different ways that you can export stems. And when we talk stems, we're talking about exporting the individual tracks of your GarageBand project. Now, this works for iOS. You can use the same track-by-track method for GarageBand on a Mac. And the benefit of doing this is that you can actually export individual tracks and then bring those tracks back into something like Pro Tools or Logic or Reaper or any other platform. So if you're collaborating with someone and they're not using GarageBand or even the same version of GarageBand as you, then that's a quick and easy way. No, okay, it's an easy way. Quick is debatable. It does take a little bit of time. It's a wee bit clunky, but it's an easy way to actually export your stems. And for those that are here on the chat, yes, Jade has popped a link to that one down there if you want to check that one out after this show. But yes, it does take a while because you do have to solo each individual track, export it as a wave, and then import it back in. But once you've done it, and you've got those stems forever, which is a super handy dandy thing. Righty dokey. Let's move on. A plugin or app of the week. Now, the one that I wanted to talk about this week is by Clevegrand. So the folks at Clevegrand, they do some really good stuff. They've got a lot of really good paid plugins, but they also have a bunch of free plugins. Now, this is one that I haven't actually done a review on yet, but it's a lot of fun and it's completely free. So I do recommend checking it out. If we come over here, here is the official Clevegrand version, and you can see here it is. It's a phaser, flanger, and chorus. And look how cool it is. In need to use it while drinking a beer. But yeah, it's very cool. It's a lot of fun. Like Clevegrand have kind of nailed the whole. Look, that looks like a little tooth display. Looks like you're going to the dentist and getting an X-ray done. Clevegrand really have nailed the simple but fun interface. So their interfaces on their apps just do the things that they need to do, and they do them in a nice, easy, and clean way. So if you are looking for something a little bit of a different effect, it's a phaser, flanger, chorus, svep by Clevegrand. There'll be a link to it down in the description, and if you do want to check it out, you can just search for it. The good thing about Clevegrand is because all their words are in a different language, basically. So when you're looking for something like Visibel, or you're looking for Svep, there's not too many other Sveps out there. SVEP. So it's not too hard to find it. Whereas if some other apps are just called EQ or like Flanger Plus or Audio Master, it's like it's hard to find because there's a lot of things called that. File converter is the worst. There's one good file converter, but there's about 10 different apps all called file converter or file convert, and you need to sort of try and find the one that you want to find. So that is the plugin of the week. It's free. You might as well go and try it out, because why not? And the thing I say about free apps is always download them. Even if you delete them again straight away, you have them there in your app library forever. So download them, and then when you want to use them again, they'll be there, even if the producers put the price up in the future. So keep that in mind with all of your free apps. If it's a freebie for a short period of time, just download it. I did that with Beatmaker 3. Never used it, but I have it. And I know that if I do want to use it, I don't have to pay any cash. It's going to be there ready to go for me. Righty dokie. I wanted to, in my resource of the week this week, it has been a quick show. As I said, it's a slow news week, so it's going to be a pretty quick show here today. So we are already at the resource of the week. My rant must have been particularly short this week. And what I wanted to talk about is what I love seeing is other folks creating videos. So over on the GarageBand users Facebook group, we've got a lot of really cool people that are making a lot of really cool videos. And I wanted to give a particular shout out to James and Matt over there. They've just started recently a channel. It is called Digital Audio Reviews, and they've started creating some really cool videos over there. Let's bring it up, and I'll show you some of the stuff they've been covering so far over on the channel. So here it is, Digital Audio Reviews. Let's throw this in the chat here and give them some love. There we go. So yeah, if you do want to, I highly suggest getting over there and checking out the channel, Digital Audio Reviews. James and Matt, we've got some reviews here of the Sennheiser HD 599 headphones, the Pile microphone there, Goji, I don't even know what that one is. I haven't watched that one, but this is the one I wanted to point you towards, which is Logic worth it? Because I get asked this question a whole bunch, and there you go. There's James himself. The boys, well, James in this case, goes through and talks about Logic. He shows you the differences, some of the differences between GarageBand and Logic in the video, and it is just, it's a quick video. What is it? It's about 4 minutes, but it just gives you that taste for whether you should actually consider, should you upgrade to Logic, and should you consider that? And I know a lot of folks that use Mac ask me about these sort of things, and I say, I don't know, but there's other people out there telling you. So I wanted to point you towards this video in particular, but the channel as well, because I do love it when people create and when people get their videos out there. Like, people may think, but isn't that bad for you? Like, if more people are making more videos, I'm like, nope, because it's not a finite game. That's the thing. I encourage and implore you to watch Dan Baker, to watch Patrick at GarageBand Guy, GarageBand and Beyond, just as many channels as you can. Dean Davis over at the Songwriting Studio, because different people are going to give you different ideas with a different flavor. Not everyone sits here and just rants at a screen like I do. Some people give actual valuable demonstrations and information. But yeah, you can actually find people. And some people have said, I don't like your style. I don't like the way that you teach information. And I say, that's cool. Unfortunately, I can't do things in a way that's going to work for absolutely everyone. But what I try to do is make my content in a way that's going to work for most folks, and then also point people to content that might be doing things a little bit differently, because some people want different things out of their education or their audio content. So I'm getting all choked up about how good the creative community is around GarageBand. Alrighty, we'll see if we've got any other final questions from folks that are here live. Otherwise, guess what? This could be a record for the shortest version of GarageBand Weekly ever. I'm clearly just right on ball there. No, I don't think we have anything. I think we've got Stu Cash. I saw you jump in there. I hope you are doing well, my friend. I will tell you a little bit about Stu in a moment, because that's the next video we have coming up here on the channel. It's an interview with Stu and Andy. We'll talk about that in a moment. But I'm just, no, we don't have any questions here. I think I've squeezed every question out of the community doing 2 Q&A shows over the weekend. I think all the questions have been answered. But if you do have a question and you're watching on the replay and you missed your opportunity to ask it here, then go ahead and ask that question down in the comments. And while you're down there, if you got some value out of this one, you can hit like. So what's coming up this week on the show? Well, as I mentioned, I've clipped out that gear 2020 gear review, or my studio view. I'm also doing a home studio tour. So I've just cleaned my studio, so it's looking spick and span. So I'm going to take you on a little tour around and show you some of the gear I use and how I use it. That should be a lot of fun as well. And this time tomorrow, I'll be interviewing Stu and Andy from the Indigo Sunsets. So they are a couple of dudes who have been collaborating, been working on music for a long time, but we're going to chat about their history, how they've made music, but also how they're continuing to make music when they can't be in the same place at the same time. So if you are someone who's collaborating and wants to know how others get it done when it comes to collaboration, then that is something that I suggest you do. We do have a final question that's jumped in here from Jeff, which is, if I start learning guitar, what should I buy first? Acoustic, acoustic electric, or electric? It is a personal preference. I would say that acoustic teaches you more of the fundamentals. You do have to push a little harder on the strings. You do have to form your chords a lot more precisely. So it's probably a little bit more of a learning curve and a challenge up front, but it will pay dividends. I think it's easy to go from acoustic to electric than it is from electric to acoustic. So I thought I saw that question, so I'll just jump in there and respond to that one. So yes, join me again tomorrow for that interview. Also, Jade is going live in 30 minutes with a look at Let's Unmix, which is something that I've never heard of before. So I'll be tuning in for that one. Hopefully you will too. Thank you again for all of your support over the weekend. I'm going to go off on my merry way, but again, heaps more coming up on the weekend, over the week, here on Studio Live Today. Head over to studiolivetoday.com to find out all the ways you can interact, get in touch, and engage here on the channel. Thank you, everyone, for all your kind support and words, and I'll see you really soon. Keep rocking, keep garage banding. Take care of yourselves. Bye.